Well, we've had really nice weather, surprisingly. Like today, I think it's going to get up over 40 degrees again, but it just barely gets below thawing at night. And then right away by noon, everything's soup again. But it was so nice. It was the day before yesterday. I finally decided, well, take the motorcycle out. It was 45 degrees, and the roads are clear. It was a bit tricky getting out on the driveway, but the roads, the highways are fine. You got to stay off the secondaries, but the paved roads are just perfect. So I put on like 40 miles. And I was plenty warm. It wasn't cold. It was sunny. There was no wind. And the gloves I was using were those hydro hides because they actually worked pretty good. But it made me think. I have bought a lot of military surplus stuff back when Fleet Farm was carrying the surplus that came from Swiss Link. Now, if you like surplus, I mean, you should actually check into, the heyday of military surplus is kind of over, but Swiss Link still is in business, though a lot of times they're substituting new made stuff for the old regular surplus. But there's still a lot of stuff available. But back when Fleet Farm they would buy it from Swiss Link Wholesale and sell it at wonderful bargains. I wish they'd have continued to do that, but when they were doing it, I stocked up on a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of surplus, and I use it every day. That stuff is hard to beat. Like even this is a Swedish parka that was surplus. I mean, this stuff was great. Unbeatable quality, and the price was fantastic. But when I was riding motorcycle the other day, it made me think at one time I had bought these. They are Swedish motorcycle gauntlets. And they're this weird, where you got like a lobster claw kind of deal. But I figured, by golly, I should throw them in a motorcycle. And I actually tried them, and they are big enough, they fit over the hydro hides. So this gives you that little added layer of protection. I don't know if these are still available. I haven't looked on Swiss Link's website. But if you're into surplus, I would suggest you do keep an eye on there. Some of the really great stuff I know they can't get anymore, like the Swedish Army blankets. So then they're substituting, or the Swiss ones, which I have a whole pile of. But now they are substituting new made stuff for it. That's the kind of thing that they have resorted to. But there's still some of the original old surplus stuff available. But I use this stuff every day. It's a shame, that there isn't. It was great because a lot of this stuff was from like former communist countries. You were getting stuff out of Austria even, and a lot of like Bulgaria. It was an endless list of stuff. That's at the same time where all the Mosin were coming out. So I was buying, I got a half dozen Mosins at was like $70 each. There were great deals at that time. Well, I think a lot of those, that's in the past now. But like I say, I did buy up a lot of stuff, a lot of Czech stuff. But this is the only pair of these that I have. But I oiled them up, and I will put them in the tank bag. And on a cold day, they'll be set. But it is worth keeping an eye on what Swiss Link has, because stuff comes and goes. But I know, like at one time, Well, I buy it from Swiss Link directly from them. You aren't getting the deal like I used to get, just tremendous deals, especially stuff that had sat for a while. Uh, they would mark it down at like half price, and oh man, uh, like I bought a bunch of goggles, the French military goggles that I actually use on a motorcycle. And it's just high quality stuff. It's that was a wonderful deal, and it surprised me that there was a lot of people that were shopping in that, and I have no idea why. Fleet Farm at one time it was privately owned, then it became publicly owned. They sold stock. It changed hands from the family, from the Mills family, and they quit carrying the surplus stuff. But God, that was a shame. That was such good stuff. I would like say if I had to go to Minneapolis, I would hit every Fleet Farm all the way down to Minneapolis and all the way back to see what they had in stock, because it was like I've got an Italian mountain sleeping bag. I know someplace I have a whole pile of Italian army blankets. Uh, I wish I'd bought more of these now. When I think back, but there's a lot of stuff that I should have bought even more of, because it's the kind of deal that never comes again. But I did look on, on their website, and it's on Swiss Link's website, and they do still have some things available. And most of that old surplus stuff is fairly reasonably priced if it fits in your needs, But that surplus stuff is just hard to beat. Like I say, I use the stuff that I bought. I use every day. So I'm glad, that, like I say, I've got a lot of this stuff on hand. Even at one time when they were selling those Polish ponchos that two of them turned into a tent, I had a lot of them. I sold a lot of them at what I paid for them to people on YouTube, but I kept some in reserve because they're just a really good thing. They're a good thing to have. But even like those old Swiss volcano stoves and stuff like that, man. It's a shame that Fleet Farm quit doing it. At the price they were selling them, they couldn't have been making a lot of profit on them. That stuff was near giveaway prices. Well, like even my fuel cans, I bought some of the new Wavian ones, but before that, I bought a lot of the regular NATO cans that were used. That's where I've got a lot of my fuel cans came from. Now, like Swiss Link does sell the new Wavian ones, which is fine, but they cost more. And I was able to buy some of the smaller versions of that were made for oil. And I carry one of them in my M37 at all times, with backup oil. But now I see, people trying to sell you all this new garbage. And I think, my God, if you really want stuff that you can count on, you should really look and see what you can find in the surplus. But I know at one time, even when I was a little kid, my grandma used to send us all kinds of Army surplus stuff, caps and boots and gloves and stuff, because an uncle was kind of running an auction on surplus stuff. So if something didn't sell, well, she'd send some of the stuff to us, and we used it all the time. But that was usually U.S. stuff. And even when there was a surplus dealer in town, and they were selling, it was just U.S. stuff, and okay, but a lot of that stuff not of the quality of what some of this European stuff. My God, that stuff is high quality. But I'm really glad I took advantage of when they were selling that stuff, and I really wish I would have bought more. But I got quite a little, and like I say, I keep running into more of it that because I buy it, box it up, and stuff it away until I needed it. But I should have bought more of these. But that stuff, man, it used to be so cheap, and now you buy expensive garbage. Like the mess kits and all that stuff. My God, that was wonderful deals that I don't think we'll ever see again. But that's why I would encourage you. If that sort of thing is in your line, and it should be if you got any brains, I would keep an eye on Swiss Link on what they have available. Like I've got some of the old Swiss backpacks that I really like. Uh, they're like the ideal backpack. You can't get them anymore, but they for a while they had surplus accessory straps for them for tying on stuff to the packs. I got to check and see if they got them. It's all good leather. It's all good quality stuff. But yet I see all this crap that they sell now, and I think, I do miss the days when Fleet Farm was doing that. But like I say, you can still get the stuff. It's just that it's going to cost you more because Fleet Farm was selling it cheap, and there ain't nothing like that on. In the future, I can't see. Like even the stuff now, the military stuff, it isn't of the quality that stuff was that was made back then. But I got these though. Like I say, should have bought more. Even in those goggles, like I say, I use them on a motorcycle all the time, and I have some spares. In fact, I think there's a box of spares sitting out here. In fact, I should just take a look and see. I think I saw it the other day. There's one. Well, I shouldn't be rummaging around when I'm off camera. Oh yeah, found them though. Okay. Yeah, see, these were, I found the price on one. Yeah, clearance, $9.97. They come with, the spare lenses. Come in this fancy little bag. They were a great deal. Take off the lobster claw. And I gave a bunch of these away. But it's good to have spares. But I think I can wear them over my glasses and they fit on the helmet nice. They're an excellent goggle. And they are French. It is that Bolet or whatever. That's the big name in those. They still make like ski goggles and stuff. But these were French made for, I think, the British Army. But $10, my God. I bought a bunch of them, like I say. It's a good thing to have. But that was, I should check on Swiss Link and see if they actually have these anymore, but hard to say. A lot of that good stuff just disappeared. Yeah, they got the yellow lens in and they come with a clear lens too. Yeah, it's a shame to see that stuff disappear. But I'm glad I have what I have. But I do regret not buying a hell of a lot more. Because if you'd have spent like $1,000 on that surplus stuff back then, it would be worth 10 times that now. Like them Swiss Army blankets, they were cheap back then. Now they're hundreds of dollars. But these will go in my tank bag. Even got a little thing to tighten up on them. Excellent quality. And it's a shame that that stuff all went away. And I do feel sorry for the people who didn't get in on that. Reminds me, I got some Czech Army boots. I should lube them all up. Good to have backups. Or Czech, I think they might have been Austrian. Yeah, they're the Austrian winter boots, because they actually have a cutout in the heel for the cable binding for cross-country skis. But at one time, they were like 15, 20 bucks a pair. I think I bought a half dozen pair of them in my size. That's the only thing, a lot of stuff like, say, this Swedish Army coat, it's hard to get used to the zippers being on the wrong side. You know, a lot of European stuff is that way. Even British stuff is that way. You know, it's just awkward when you're used to, for a woman it'd be fine because they're used to that, but for men it's a little awkward. But I would check, you know, and SwissLink actually has a channel on YouTube that's worth keeping an eye on too. I do subscribe to them, and once in a while they run something. But like I say, a lot of times it isn't. What they're talking about is the new stuff that they're trying to sell. Whereas my interest, like the waving gas cans, whereas what I like is the old surplus stuff. That is the stuff, man. That was a heyday of surplus when Fleet Farm was selling that stuff. But I hoarded up a bunch, and I have never regretted it.